Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mechanicville Podcast, or the Red Raider Podcast, with Matthew, Bove, and...
Sam Beyer. How's your guys' day going?
I mean, they can't answer the question, but... Okay, so first off, to get, you used to our faces and stuff, we just want to tell you that this podcast is going to be a podcast for, us two talking about really whatever. We're going to be interviewing, teachers, and what are we going to be interviewing mostly?
Well, mostly we're considering, firstly, this is for me, I don't know about him. For me, I want to try making a balance so that both teachers and students are equally represented.
Yeah.
But I can't 100% guarantee anything. This is just him and me. This is what I think, but what do you think?
Yeah, so we're going to be interviewing, teachers and students to get, their ideas about, really whatever. About, what the current state of the school is, about, how... life was during the pandemic and stuff, and the teacher's perspective on that, because we all know the student's perspective, but what about the people actually teaching during that time? But Sam, when did this how did this start?
Oh god, you want to hear that story? Be my guest. All right.
Oh, they tuned in, so
that's fair enough. And one more thing, we are not legally responsible for any vision damage from seeing our faces, so
Okay, and by the way, everybody, I don't know what you were expecting, but this is not official. This is just two dudes chatting, so we're not going to be completely official, no jokes, nothing. This is just us.
Yeah, this is just us kind of just being ourselves, just chilling out. It's going to be a good time. Some people for you, maybe go on your couch, chill out, hang out with your family. I know you'll be watching this with your family.
Okay, so before they click off, tell them the story about how this came to be.
That's true. Okay. Okay, so we were in geometry class, and for students, you guys know P2. Anyone else watching this, P2 is basically this project that we did. Oh, am I over-explaining?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, this is going to take up 20 minutes.
Yeah. So basically, it's a government... Is it a government thing?
You want me to tell it?
Nah, I can tell it.
Okay.
It's basically this thing our school's doing where it's hey, these positive traits, we're going to learn about them every day, every week, and for every week there's a new one, humor this week, and then there's
perseverance.
Perseverance, all that's great stuff. And then
essentially teaching kids the traits that they should have been taught, but it's better to reinforce it now when they actually have a capacity to understand this, instead of back in kindergarten when they would the only care they had was about what color their chair was.
Yeah, basically every single child's a psychopath. And now we actually have empathy.
Yeah, now we can actually learn and understand, and it's better to get that from school where you're at it for 6 hours a day than from your parents who are usually drained and tired later on at home.
Exactly. So basically, we were in that class, and how it works in our class, two people do it, me and him. So we were just having this deep philosophical conversation about it, and then...
Well, I mean, it wasn't just two people, but we were the only people really, actually engaging in it, because for some reason we just like to have conversations about stuff. And so, but we ended up being the only two people talking and going through it. So...
Then after that, Colin, I think it was Colin, right? Can I say names?
Colin.
Yeah, Colin Richardson. He's you guys should start a podcast. And then we both look at each other, and we're that's a good idea. We should do that. And then I talked to Nick Fichtner. Actually, can I drop your name? Is that cool? That's cool. Okay. So Nick Fichtner, I call him up. I said, hey, we're thinking about doing a podcast. Could you be the technical guy? He's yeah, that's no problem. So then we do that. Then we go to Mitchell and say, hey.
Yeah, we go to Mr. Mitchell. And so, just to be completely honest with you, this was a throwaway line in geometry class. But, so we actually went to Mr. Mitchell and kind of, pitched the idea to him. And to our surprise, he was completely on board with it. And he funded the entire thing. We had a few meetings with him. And
yeah. Those, oh my god.
They were kind of stressful because, we were looking at each other and realizing this is going to be an actual thing that people might listen to. And the school is actually doing, something to, actually get good equipment for this.
Exactly. We have a lot of equipment here. And, oh my, it's so...
And books.
And books. I'll be honest with y'all. A lot of this is being held together with tape and gum. Not actual gum, but the tape part's real.
In actuality, it's being held by tape and textbooks, but...
Tape and textbooks, basically, for half of this. but we're doing a good job. You're here for us, not the books or the tape. So I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're okay. So, why did you actually want to be on here? For you personally, why did you want to be doing this?
Do you want to be honest?
Yeah.
It seems really fun to do this, and I'm like, why not? Because I can go on my life, and this is how I want to view life. I want to view my life and say, you know what? I had this opportunity in my life, and I took it, and I had a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I lose from doing it?
Exactly.
Doing it. So that's why I'm here right now, talking to him, having a good time. So I hope you guys are having a good time too.
Yeah. For me personally, the reason why I wanted to do this is because, well, I have had a podcast with my friend, and so it's very fun to talk about and stuff. And I know that people might enjoy this, listening to this, just our stupidity for like 20, 30 minutes maybe. But I wanted to get a perspective that the students really didn't get. We're so focused into our culture and like the students now, like we're just so focused with each other that we don't really see the perspective of everybody else. And so with that, we want to bring in, like I said, the teachers and the students, but also like the alumni, the people who used to be here, yet now are actually out in the real world, and like people who used to be class presidents and on the track team or whatever, and actually like had a great and prevalent spot in Mechanicville, and what are they doing now? And so I feel like it'd be great to like bring to light those things, but also sometimes it will be official. And sometimes Sam and I will literally just be talking about water brands.
That is very...
Like, I'm not lying on that one. We will actually be talking one time about water brands and which ones we like, which ones we have a hatred for. Just to, like, kind of a filler in between, like, interviews and whatnot. But it's still going to be something we're passionate about talking.
Yeah, so we'll still have emphasis and still be us. But we're talking about things like water companies and... movies and all of that. I'll be honest, if you're here for us, you're gonna have a great time, believe me. But if you're here for like, oh, this is gonna be 100% serious, I'm not gonna like have some hiccups,
you already clicked
go
off.
away.
You already clicked off.
You clicked off. Anyone else who's here, hi.
But yeah, also with these interviews, it's going to be like amazing to actually just go and be able to talk to people just reasonably, and not something official and whatnot. But also for the people and the students and like the teachers listening and watching right now, if you have any questions for us, we would gladly take like a Q&A podcast episode of just questions you guys submitted. And this isn't going to be like completely heavily censored either. So you're going to get our real answers. This isn't going to be like, I guess, school propaganda where like they are forcing us to say these things. But actuality, we are going to be the ones talking from our truth, like not our truth, but like the truth and our opinions and things like that. But Sam, when you like thought about doing this, right? And did you have any anxieties about this?
I'll be honest, not really. Because this is for me, for the past few years, and I remember, I think I was like 12 to 13, I was just like in my bed, and looking up in my ceiling, I realized, oh my god, if I keep doing what I'm doing, because back when I was younger, I kept saying no to new opportunities, and I never did anything. So then I realized, oh my god, this isn't going to be like this forever. I'm not going to be like a teenager for the rest of my life, so I want to do things and like do things that I can say I've done and have a good time without just being the shell of a human, just laying in my little cave like a caveman, just writing on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. It also is a great way for like people to interact with this and to like have their voices kind of heard, because there are so many things. Like if you Google like Mechanicville, you will see like superintendent and like the people on the board and like the teachers and stuff and their views of stuff, but you never really, like in the public eye, you never really see the student's perspective. And so I feel like that'd be a great way to like bring it to light. Also, we're not going to be untouchable. Our emails are completely dry and they're filled with like, hey, this thing has been graded on Google Forms. So if you just want anything, you have any good feedback and or constructive criticisms about it, just email us.
Should we give him our emails just to him right now?
Well, you can literally just no.
No? Okay. Imagine if you just post on YouTube, just random stranger just gets our emails and just starts sending us that.
That's why our safety guy that's behind the camera just like literally told us, "Hey, no, you're not doing that." Like,
no.
And so is our other safety guy. There are 2 people back there.
Yeah.
It's run by 4 students essentially.
Yeah, there is.
I cannot read lips. I'm sorry. Yeah, those were like great concerns because like the kind of thoughts of I'm just going through school at this point and I'm just going and falling asleep and doing nothing with my life. That is a very prevalent issue for even for the people who, like, let's say can't do sports and things like that. They feel kind of left out from, I guess, the high school experience, which I guess is like drama, grades, etc. But so for our next episode, what are we going to be doing next episode?
Well, next episode, we are currently undecided between 2 teachers that I will not disclose their names.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think personally, y'all gonna have a good time. It's gonna be great, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, these guys are freaking awesome.
All right, so I'm not gonna say a good time because this is not a roller coaster, and you're just gonna like these next few podcasts and things like that. And so also, what would be great is if you guys have any questions for like teachers and stuff. Now they have to be like good questions. We have to be good questions. Like it can't be like how was your guys' day and things like that. But if you have any questions for teachers that you would like us to ask, by all means, send it to us or just talk to us in the hallway and things like that.
All right, I'm Sam Beyer. I want to say thank you for the 2 guys in the back, Nick and Sam, and
I'm Matthew Bove. I just want to say it was a pleasure being here. And if we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.